When we came into the 2018 season, everyone was getting hyped up with the new teams and some spicy off-season moves. But still, who were the two names nobody could shut up about? TSM and Team Liquid. Now that the dust has settled through all the ups and downs that these two franchises have had, there are two teams that everyone is excited to see close out this regular season here and now. On one side, you have the team with the most championship titles in the LCS, led by the man with the most MVP titles, but who look uncharacteristically out of championship form. Now, on the other side, you have the defending champions, the team that will end the regular season in first place, led by the man who was dropped by the first team at the beginning of this year. Now, if that's not a script, I don't know what is. And now for TSM, their playoff dreams are on the line. A win here will guarantee them a spot in the top 6 and avoids a tiebreaker. A loss places them teetering on the precipice. You want it. You need it. This is the game where the victors will go into the playoffs feeling like a team to beat. This is for the love and adoration of North American League of Legends fans everywhere out there.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Let's get right into it by looking at the starting 5. On the blue side, it's TSM with Haunter in the top lane, Grig in the jungle, Bjergsen at mid, Sven and Mithy bottom and support, head coach Song and strategic coach Park.
Been a while since I've heard those cheers, and facing them on the red side, it's gonna be Team Liquid. In the top lane, Impact. In the jungle, Smithy. Mid lane, Pobelter, bot and support gonna be Doublelift and Olay with Coach King.
These two teams have so many fans in the audience. You can hear the cheers for both sides, especially for TSM. This team that does have so many stars on it, that has historically been so successful, not going to playoffs, the thought of that just last year would have been completely absurd.
Yeah, I mean, it's unthinkable. This is a team that had never missed the finals in spring. For the first time that happens. For them to not make playoffs at all, to not even have an opportunity to get to that finals, would be a massive disappointment from TSM. I mean, you talked about it. People were talking about these two teams because Sven and Mithy, those guys coming in, were supposed to be the ones to bring international success to TSM. Not only have they not been able to do that, they have yet to find regional success in North America. They are fighting for that here today, looking to keep their fate in their own hands.
One team that took their fate into their own hands and just ran wild with it is Team Liquid, the current reigning champions of the LCS from Spring Split. Also the team that has locked themselves already into first place for regular season play. Definitely not an easy opponent, but the opponent that, like I already stated, TSM must defeat today if they want to secure that playoff spot.
Yep, and if they lose, they would be forced into that tiebreaker with Optic, and that would be a very tense game, very exciting for both squads, but they want to avoid it. They want to complete the playoff run today, make sure they're going to make it into that quarterfinals and be able to focus on getting further than they did in spring.
You say exciting, but for those 5 guys on stage wearing the TSM uniforms, I guarantee you they could pass on that kind of excitement. As we take a look at the bans, TSM does not like supports today. Rakan, Tom Kench, Morgana, all banned away. Team Liquid banning out Aatrox, Zillion, and Braum.
And you can see Olay having a bit of a laugh about it. You know, all the 3 bans being thrown his direction. But we are going to get a bit of a different look. Oh, it's the insta-lock of Kali there for
no
Bjergsen.
Contemplation about that.
That is the kind of confidence you want to see here from the TSM superstar. He has so many MVPs to his name, has dominated for them so many times in the past, but he has not been the guy this split. He has not been taking over games. They have not been crushing this year. Bjergsen trying to right those wrongs and take the game into his own hand, but we've seen Pobelter, his answer to this before. He already beat Optic when PoE brought out Akali. That was the Galio then. It is going to be the Galio now. Even if you can't see Akali in the Shroud, you can actually channel your taunt, cover the whole Shroud, and taunt him out of that, bringing him out of the stealth. So some pretty nice interactions there for the Galio.
Not to mention, once you get into the fights, yeah, Akali's not going to be trying to pop you. You're going to be tankier. You're hard to kill. But when she goes after one of your allies and you can use the hero's entrance to make sure they stay safe, that's another way to shut her game plan down.
Especially in combination with that Kindred ultimate. You don't throw down that Lamb's Respite, and then the hero's entrance can be layered as it's expiring. You come out, you hit him with the CC, you burst them down and out of that. It is a very powerful combination. here for Team Liquid.
And we're talking about making sure people don't die. Kindred is just so damn good at making sure people don't die. This champion turns a team fight into utter chaos with the press of a single button as everyone has to scramble to get in or out of the zone, whether or not it's the right choice to stay inside the invulnerability or try to bail early.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one, but I'm interested to see, will Impact pick a carry here? Another team blind picking GP into Team Liquid. This seems to be what everyone is doing these days. They're blind picking something that is good into tanks because Impact is not showing that he is playing carries. Now he's going to bring out the Rumble. That is a contentious matchup. That is carry versus carry. We're going to see how Impact can do up there.
And this is Liquid having faith in Impact. Remember, this is a player who historically excels on tanks. It's the carries where we see him struggle. It was at MSI earlier this year where some questionable picks onto carries for him when he was doing so well on tanks definitely did not help Team Liquid's subpar performance in that event. Now they're saying, we've got the faith, he can make this matchup work.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of sense. If your opponent's blind pick GP and Trundle and you pick a tank anyway, I think you are kind of asking to fail, given that everything else is equal. Because Trundle is incredibly strong against one-tank teams. GP can farm off of that tank and get to a really strong state, so they're going squishy here on Team Liquid. It is not the kind of traditional multi-tank frontline that you really see. Yes, Galio can kind of act as a pseudo-tank, where you're expecting him to build full AP. You have the Aftershock, you have some damage reduction on your taunt, but that is not a true tank. And with a lot of the tank bans already coming through, we can see Braum removed, Tom Kench removed. There is something like an Alistar if they want some of that frontline and engage. But Team Liquid is not going to be playing that similar style that we're used to seeing them play so many times. This looks like much more of an Echo Fox style draft.
And even looking at TSM, yeah, you've got Trundle, but you don't have anything that just resembles something with a hard initiation capability as a tank. You've got the ability to summon the pillar. Yes, that is an initiation, but I'm talking about something that can just go in, something like the olden days of Maokai's and Poppies and things like that.
Maybe they'll get it from support though, right? Mithy, he did bring out the Alistar within the last couple of weeks, so there is a possibility of him going that route. 4 marksman bans here though. The Alistar going to be taken away by Olay. That is the last, I would say, premier tank support that is kind of left there, so it makes a lot of sense that they want to take it away for Olay before Mithy can have a chance to get it.
Falls into that hard engage category.
Definitely does, and having somewhat of a front line, right? He is not going to be a frontliner that can kind of stand up for a really long time, but during your ultimate, you act as that pure tank. Wow, the Swain coming through here, I'm assuming for Sven, so the Swain Pike, they're banning out so many of these marksmen, they're banning out so many of the supports because they want to set up for this very aggressive bottom lane that they're trying to play. They're trying to force Doublelift onto an unsafe marksman and be able to pull off those all-ins onto him. Remember, Swain passive can proc off of the Trundle pillar, so you pop him up with the pillar, you yank in that player, and Doublelift, as a result, is going Tristana because he feels he needs a move block. He needs some way to self-peel, such as with the ultimate, and to create space with that rocket jump. But Tristana needs time. Tristana needs scaling, and that is going to be scary for them down on the bottom side. But at the same time, for TSM, their success has not come from mages. It has come from Sven on marksman. It has come from team fighting, slow-paced games, that late-game style that everyone is kind of starting to know TSM for. And this is a composition that wants to snowball, that wants to play aggressive and be in your opponent's face. And TSM have to show us here today that they can do that.
TSM putting it all on the line with the mage in the bottom lane, with the Akali pick for Bjergsen. If you were looking at the stats during Champion Select, Akali sitting currently at a 0% win rate in the NALCS. She hasn't really been unlocked by the pros in our region so far. Bjergsen wants to change that here in this game. But going up against Team Liquid, going up against this team that has Galio and Kindred and Alistar to protect those valuable members, it's going to be hard.
A lot of peel, a lot of protection here on the Team Liquid side. Swain wants to be in the middle of things. Akali wants to be in the middle of things with those ultimates, trying to mix it up. You can get Buster shot out by Tristana. You can get headbutt out there by Alistar, taunted up by Galio. It does become difficult to get through. We'll see if TSM can do it, though. Contentious carry versus carry matchup on the top side, and in the mid lane here, trying to get Bjergsen running on this Akali into a tank. Those are important solo lane matchups.
The crowd roars to life as we enter onto Summoner's Rift for the final regular match. of summer 2018. TSM versus Team Liquid. TSM fighting for their right to go to playoffs. Team Liquid looking to gatekeep them.
I mean, TSM is betting their playoff lives on something that they have not had success with on the stage. They're bringing out the Swain, they're bringing out the Pike, showing confidence in this European bottom lane to really make things happen. This is something that we've seen a lot from Fnatic, for example. Whippo and Hillsang playing these sorts of styles very, very well. We know it can work. We have just not seen it work from them. Not seen it work in North America nearly as frequent.
Take the players out of EU. You can't take the EU out of the players. They're still looking to make that magic happen for TSM here today. Ward being placed down on the Raptor pit there from Olay. As Spin just says, all right, I see your Ward. Here you go.
The chicken dance. Oh, man, he's one of the best at dance spams, I have to say.
That's honestly how I judge every new champion release, rework,
how spammable
or skin.
are the emotes?
Yes, if I have an emote that can tilt people by spamming it 45 times a second, that's a top tier champion.
That's top tier. The Nunu must be S tier.
Nunu's just got that about him. I feel like that champion will always just have the troll aspect there, but Bjergsen already playing aggressive here in the mid lane, getting some early damage down onto Pobelter. We'll see how long he can keep that up. Akali, as an assassin in general, you want to see these picks get ahead. You want to see them have control, because if they fall behind, man, they don't feel good in those big fights.
Yeah, Galio certainly can be pressured. You know, in this matchup, it can be tough in the early stages before you're actually getting tanky enough, before you have enough damage to actually clear out those waves. You can see that Bjergsen was playing aggressive with the 5-point strike, backs off for the Assassin Spark passive, then goes back in for that empowered auto, and he's trying to keep this up. Pobelter is looking to avoid fighting Bjergsen, just have a non-stop shove. But Bjergsen wants to trade, wants to gain his advantages there, and you can see Pobelter's already used both his potions at 2 minutes. Like, that is significant already for Bjergsen.
All right, real quick, let's go ahead and toss things over to Avli, who's ready here with a sideline report.
Thanks, guys. Kane said that when it came to the draft, the Swain and the aggressive picks were a little bit unexpected, but they felt like they had some pretty good answers and are confident in their play. They know that this game doesn't really mean much to them in standings-wise, but they would like to end on a win. Back to you.
I definitely agree that they do have answers to the aggressive picks, but only to a point. You know, if those aggressive picks get too far ahead, there's not much that can answer that. Loses it.
That's pretty big there for Grig early on, stealing that away from Xfinity. Now Fair, very, very low, gonna be taken down. First blood over to Team Liquid.
Double lift on the scaling marksman, 2v2. First blood onto Sven. They were trying to come up and potentially support their junglers. TSM may have stolen away that mark from Smithy, but that is massive for double lift.
Keep the crab, we'll take your bottom lane mage. Double lift cashing in so big there. Let's take another look.
Now here it is one more time. Neither jungler has smite. So Smithy trying to finish this off, but we're going back to live. Mithy's gonna face check.
Oh, Mithy walks right up into the brush. You gotta be more careful than that. He will be taken rather low. Not quite dead just yet, but Team Liquid get another summoner spell out of that.
Yeah, they do, and at the same time, Smithy does get that mark up on the top side. So cashing in there, grabbing the scuttle, so it does become that even trade. It's not a full wash for him. And Impact versus Haunter, this is going to be a really important matchup. You know, you can see Rumble really push in and kind of get those advantages in the early stages, and then we know how good of a team fighter Rumble can be. But here it is, we're going back to that initial replay one more time as we got interrupted last time. So they came up trying to support the team, but Mithy actually used his abilities aggressively onto Olay. Doublelift is free and clear. They both flash in. Ignite was already dropped. Cashing in on that kill is very, very big, and a fantastic first buy here for Doublelift. Double longsword and a dagger, even the pink ward compared to just a ruby crystal.
Yeah, that ruby crystal's not going to do a whole lot of work early on for this Swain, and especially, I mean, Swain's one of those picks. You've got a very spammy ability that you use primarily above all the other ones in the Death's Hand. It doesn't become spammable until level 7, level 9.
Yeah.
Earlier on, you're just sort of hanging out, having a good time, waiting to try to see if you can get some of those procs off of Mithy's hooks, which are never moved, but when Doublelift and Olay are in this level of control,
he's on Sven!
No, Olay with the Hex Splash onto Sven, who's now caught on the wrong side of the Team Liquid duo and gives over death number 2.
Gets him again, the Hex Flash in behind. They know the summoner is down. This is complete and utter domination from Olay and Doublelift here in the early stages. They have the scaling advantage here with Tristana, and they don't care about TSM's history. They want to send them home early.
They only care about the history of TSM not pulling it off with these types of picks in the bottom lane, and they're saying, if you have the audacity to pick this into us, we're going to show you why you shouldn't.
I mean, Doublelift had some very strong words in his interview yesterday, calling TSM boosted. He's putting his money where his mouth is, right? He's walking the walk.
I just love the fact that as Ole goes to Hex Splash, and it's all the Alistair animation, he's calling his shot, pointing at the guy. That dude's going down. As Team Liquid goes after the Infernal Drake, looking to take this one down. Xmithie with the smite, and TSM can't stop it in time. That's a big Drake picked up real early for Liquid.
Yeah, that is very, very nice for them, already having that early advantage. 2 marksmen, you're going to have AP being built heavily on the Galio and the Rumble, so a lot of guys are going to get a lot out of that Infernal as the game progresses. And we'll see. I mean, TSM need to make something happen here, kind of staunch that bleeding on the bottom side of the map, because Doublelift is going to outscale. Doublelift is going to be so incredibly powerful if he gets to those team fights at a good clip.
Yeah, I mean, you have a gangplank on the side of TSM, but at the same time, you just said it, there's 2 marksmen to 0 for Team Liquid here. Coming in comes the heroic entrance. Can they find Sven again? I don't see any reason why not. They'll take him out, and they're going to send Mithy right down into the grave with him. Xmithie grabs that kill, and Team Liquid 4-0 now. Not even 7 minutes into this game.
And with a start like that, they're looking to send TSM into a tiebreaker here. Liquid trying to end the season in emphatic fashion. There has been so much talk about C9, about their strength, but Liquid is looking to end their season with some domination, looking to go 8-1 in the second half and, you know, kind of match that mark.
What a good showing from Liquid here so far. They saw Cloud9 against FlyQuest. They said, all right, you guys are looking like a strong team. Let us show you why we're #1.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
2-0-2 on Doublelift, 1-0-3 on Olay. Both of these guys, full kill participation in this game.
Just take a look at the items that Doublelift has and then the items that Sven has, and that is just complete and utter sadness.
All right, speaking of sadness, if you're a TSM fan, let's take a look at this replay.
Mithy pulls him in, and Ole's like, well, thanks, I didn't have my flash to get over that wall. Gets in right on top. Pobelter is there with the hero's entrance. Doublelift gets in as well. 2 more kills going their way. They already have the Infernal. They are so ahead.
And what you were talking about before we went into the replay, when you compare the itemization changes from our first check-in after Doublelift got the first blood, Doublelift has since picked up a BF sword. Sven has a blue crystal.
Yep, he's got his brown boots as well.
Oh yeah, can't forget that.
So definitely he's feeling not too happy right now. He is so far behind. I mean, the gold lead, even in that 1v1, he's over 1,000 gold ahead at 8 minutes. That is a very, very big lead here on this scaling marksman. Doublelift will quickly have his Stormrazor, and Sven is going to be so far away from one item when Doublelift is already on his Stormrazor.
Sven has 100 gold more than Ole.
Yeah.
Not where you want that carry to be at. Doublelift does get hit by the hook there from Mithy, but it's not like it'll do much of anything. Sven and Mithy too far behind to try to contest these guys anywhere away from their turret, so they just have to concede that ward. And Team Liquid now recognizing this lead, they move into the enemy jungle. They push up with Xmithie as well, and you've got Pobelter hanging around about 1/4 of the cooldown left on that ulti before he can make another hero's entrance.
Yeah, and they'd love to make another play as soon as that is up. Xmithie trying to push them off, trying to zone them out, but they may just go in.
These hooks from Mithy are just putting Ole in a spot where he can initiate time and time again. Now he'll walk himself away, does take a little bit of damage on the way out, but it buys Doublelift the time to free fire onto the turret and put more damage on that objective.
And denies more minions as well from Sven. He's already behind, and kind of quietly on the top side, we've had Impact, building up a CS advantage on this island. We can see Hauntzer's answer is kind of similar to what we actually saw in Licorice versus Someday, where he is rushing a Cowl, he has Biscuits, he has Time Warp Tonic, and trying to go this more defensive style to then be able to survive the lane and build this Triforce after that.
Xmithie getting a lot of damage onto Mithy, who barely walks away with 200 HP. Xmithie hanging on by a thread himself. Does
Double
have to
TP.
pop the Lambs Respite. TP's coming in. Team Liquid wants to commit everybody to this one. Pobelter makes his way into the fight. Impact gonna cancel his own
behind
TP.
him.
But Bjergsen could come in with a mop and bucket to clean this one up. Can he find the damage onto Smithy? As Sven, Greg, and Mithy will look to take down Pobelter. TSM puts himself on the board. Bjergsen's able to find one, but will they find anything else? Team Liquid in full retreat. Bjergsen going right back in, able to find the double, and Liquid goes way too far in.
Impact looking for more here on the top side, but TSM, a great roam down from Bjergsen, keeping their Oaks alive. 2 kills on the Assassin early on here, so big, and Smithy really kind of punished for how aggressively forward he was posturing. They're able to catch him in, lock him in, and force out that Lambs Respite early, and TSM right back in it. So here it is one more time. Smithy's trying to kind of juke out, but Mithy holds on to that hook for so long, then nails it. You can see the pillar locking Smithy in, forces out that early ultimate. The TP is actually canceled here from Impact, decides not to make the trip down, and then all of a sudden, it is a 4v4, but the Assassin is behind you. Smithy cannot really contribute to the fight because he is so low, and it's everyone getting separated up. Pobelter getting knocked down, then Bjergsen flashes in, second proc of that ultimate, cleans up a kill, nails the E straight in for the double kill onto Olay.
Bjergsen Hex Tech Gunblade completed now on a colleague.
God.
Pre-rework, post-rework, does not matter. Champions that use that item, it is at the core of their identity, and now that he has it, he's deadlier than ever.
Yeah, that early is so scary because Pobelter doesn't have his first item completed, and as kind of a lower damage champion here on the Galio, it becomes so hard to even keep him down from full HP, right? He just gets to this point where he can just ignore your damage, keep healing up off of every wave, trading aggressively, non-stop being in your face, and that can be really tough to deal with.
Team Liquid was sitting in such a good spot before. They're still ahead, don't get me wrong. They're up a kill, they're up 1,000 gold, they're up an Infernal Drake, but you can't be making mistakes like that.
Yeah, and it's the beginnings of a comeback, the beginnings of a way to get back into this game here for TSM. Kind of gaining some of that hope. And we can see Bjergsen on the roam once more. He has the push now in the mid lane. There's no words to spot it. They do know he's missing. We'll see if he wants to jump in here onto Olay.
Olay just walks into the Drake pit. Double lift hanging out there too. Says, yep, that's a Drake. Walks himself back out. Team Liquid learned their lesson last time. They don't want to do anything too brave just yet. They know Bjergsen's shoving up here in the mid lane. Pobelter doesn't want to go anywhere close to him.
Yeah, you're going to have to be pretty careful about that now as Pobelter, and it's Bjergsen with full roam opportunity here. He can go down to that bottom side. He's constantly going missing from that mid lane, and that is allowing Sven and Mithy, despite the fact that they're behind, have some pressure here. Because Double and Olay don't want to step up, knowing Grig could be down here, knowing Akali could be down here. They'll win the 2v2, but they will not win the 2v3, the 2v4.
Now TSM is committing 4 people towards that Cloud Drake. They do secure it. Grig's able to find the smite. Olay going in, finds a knockup on multiple people. Hero's entrance also going to be coming in here, but it's Smithy who has to fight Bjergsen on the back end of the fight. Doublet's alone, but he's keeping Sven out of it as well. Bjergsen goes in a killing spree, finds himself one. Pobelter's now going to be caught out as they look to finish off the remaining members of Team Liquid. Another double kill for Bjergsen. Mithy can't quite find the execute. A good headbutt away from Olay will keep him alive. He goes to Double Lift, who's still standing by, but TSM's got lots of people here, still ready to go, but Double Lift goes in. He finds one. He won't yet find the second. Mithy goes into the stasis to stay alive. He does walk away just barely, but Double Lift's got the outplay to trade 1 for 1 at the end of the fight.
Double Lift and Bjergsen is going blow for blow here. These two superstars fighting back and forth, trying to carry their teams as the gold is now dead. Even Impact, though, pushing on the top side, has this turret very low, and the potential to just get the straight up 1v1 first turret would be very nice. Get some more gold in their pockets and unlock him on the map as Bjergsen has full control of the mid lane and starting to really gain some big advantages.
If you asked me what I wanted from this game, I think Bjergsen versus Double Lift carry-off would be it.
And there is the engage one more time. Olay goes in. It felt like there was some hesitation from Pobelter as another fight will break out on the top side. Impact is level 11, rank 2 equalizer available.
Impact has not really got involved with any fights just yet, aside from taking Hanserlo on the top side. Remember, he did cancel the TP into that bottom lane for the play that we saw earlier that backfired on Liquid. So we'll see how much of a difference he makes once he can get involved, as Team Liquid will take down the first turret of the game. But TSM take the opportunity to go after the Rift Herald here for themselves. Hanser will rotate over to this one as well. Looks like they'll secure it no problem, as Bjergsen clears out some of the wards on the side of mid lane.
Yeah, should be theirs for sure. But first turret already grabbed from Doublelift. He has 2,300 gold in his pockets, so going back to base with a big buy. There is also a very low turret top, so I think as TL, you send Doublelift and Ole top, you try to knock down that turret, grab a quick second, and have Impact try to hold a wave elsewhere on the map, which does get harder, admittedly, without his equalizer being available.
I like the fact that Impact's gone for the Morello Namicon first item here, fully completes it to make sure that he's got the Grievous Wounds as well. He knows he's up against Gangplank, Trundle, Akali, Swain, even Pike. All 5 members of TSM have quite a large amount of healing in the kit. That's going to be big.
Yeah, it's such an efficient buy. You know, for the 1v1, it's not maybe as powerful as some other options because there's some early MR on Hanser, and you can kind of negate that with just, you know, a null magic mantle for the flat pen. But in the team fight, shutting down so much of that healing is so good. And I really do respect making a buy like that and kind of taking one for the team.
I praise Grievous Wounds every time I see anyone buy it in any game with anyone who heals, because I think it's still seriously undervalued for how much it can do, but it really will be picked up this game, and that's honestly the difference between winning and losing a team fight sometimes. We'll see how that plays out for Team Liquid as Doublelift will continue pushing up here in the mid lane. Sven level 9 compared to Doublelift's level 10. He's still 40 CS behind Doublelift as well. Rod of Ages stacking does have that up to 4 stacks so far. Rod of Ages is a very gold efficient item, so once that's all the way stacked, that will make up for a little bit of the deficit that he has, but no, not that far. They will find the never move onto Ole, pull him in a little bit, but he's not too scared of that just yet. Does walk himself out. No objectives on the map to fight for in terms of neutral territory right now. We're still about 3 minutes away from Baron, and the Drake still dead from the last time it was taken by TSM, so Smithy will have to settle for picking up a Scuttle Crab here.
Yeah, gonna grab another mark for himself. Number 2 on the game. Would love to get to that big number 4. Bjergsen here in the mid lane, though. Could be a fight.
Ole's on the front line. Pops the ultimate to keep himself safe. Has to flash over the pillar there as well. Good job from Greg using the ultimate and that pillar to get the summoner spell away from the Team Liquid support. That means the fight is going to stop.
Yeah, Bjergsen missing with that shuriken flip. This is something that Mark Z has actually talked a lot about. Trying to go for it where you kind of shoot yourself backwards, hit the mark, and then jump in does give you more damage, but it is more consistent to actually use it backwards, almost like a Caitlyn 90 caliber net, and shoot yourself forwards into that fight. So it is one of those little things that, you know, Mark has talked a lot about on the desk that he feels pros are underutilizing and sometimes trying to be a bit too fancy. So something we can kind of track and watch throughout this game.
Also want to point out about Bjergsen's Akali did go for a more defensive option in the Mercury Treads for the boot as opposed to something like a Sorcerer's Shoe, so wants to prioritize his own safety as he dives in and has to deal with things like the Galio taunt as opposed to going for some extra impact. Yeah,
I think it's really smart because while you are very evasive with that Shroud, it depends on the Shroud, right? You need that invisibility, you need that I can't remember what it's actually called, but there's a separate term for it. But anyway, essentially a visibility.
I'm trying to remember what Mark told me exactly what it's called, but I can't remember because it's...
Either way.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
It's some sort of thing where they can't see you.
Yeah, they can't see you. So it's one of those cases where if you do get taunted out, you can be burst down.
Obscurity.
You're incredibly squishy.
Obscurity. She is obscured while in the Shroud. That is the word.
Solved.
As mid lane, Ole takes a little bit of damage there from Sven, who still just trying to stay relevant here in this game. Does have the stopwatch, which means he can go into one of these fights completely haphazard, go into the demon form, try to just make himself be that big middle of the team fight, almost totem presence that keeps everyone away. See how well that plays out for him as bottom side Rift Herald summoned up there. Timer likely about to run out as now the fight breaks out in the TSM jungle. TP gonna come in from this one. It's gonna be multiple people showing up there though. Instead, Impact will once again cancel that teleport. Team Liquid now trying to get themselves out of here as Bjergsen will take down the bottom lane tier 1. That means he could rotate over towards this fight as well. Team Liquid currently with priority over the Drake pit.
Yeah, and Doublelift is on the mid lane turret, but Impact needs to actually kill off this Rift Herald. You don't want to just give up 2 turrets to the Rift Herald, so he will go back, he will collect this, and Bjergsen could look over the wall with that shuriken flip, try to jump in onto Impact, but
doesn't look like it.
Yeah, and Pobelter is pretty close, so that would be a very risky play to go for with the hero's entrance available.
Everybody just says nope. not worth fighting for anything right now. The Drake's up. It is Mountain Drake number one this game, excuse me. His topside Hanser will put in some work on that tier 1 turret, and that actually brings TSM up to a turret lead over Team Liquid and a gold lead now as well.
Not something you would expect after that early start, how badly the bottom lane went for TSM, but Bjergsen, Hanser playing very well. You know, Bjergsen especially has been a monster so far this game. 5 kills already. It is TL around this dragon, maybe a fight.
Oh, here we go. Gangplank ulti's already going to be used. It's Team Liquid finding their way onto the Drake. Start things up, but Double Lift's already gone. Bjergsen's got his number, and he's going to find impact as well. Smithy's left to die to the remaining members of TSM as Ole tries to get away. We'll see if Mithy can find the hook. It doesn't even matter. TSM 3 for 0. Plus,
they're going to Baron. They're going straight
over to Baron.
Here.
This a 20-minute Baron for TSM in a game where they started 0 for 4. They have since gone 9 for 1 against Team Liquid.
I mean, Double just got absolutely exploded there by Bjergsen. Not prepared for how much damage he could take. Goes down without the summoners being used, goes down without the ultimate being used, and Bjergsen is just absolutely destroying this game. They're going to get the Bjergsen. I mean, he's like just 1v9 this game. It's insane.
From the moment he walked into lane at level 1 against Po Belter's Gallo, you could tell he put in practice on this champion. He knew what his limits were, and he can do stuff like this.
Look at this, just flashes right in onto Double Lift and absolutely deletes him with the second charge of the ultimate, then hits the shuriken flip over on Impact, takes him down before the equalizer can even be used. And we
says, hey, Po Belter, come here.
We did see a hack trigger picked up by Double Lift, but I don't know if that's going to be enough just yet. You've got to be so liberal with those summoners, so liberal with the ultimate to get the self-heal, because if Akali gets on you and is this fed, you just straight up die. I mean, he's closing in on 3 items at 21 minutes. It's absurd.
Morello Namicon also picked up by Bjergsen, just making sure if you are trying to heal up against him, you will not get the full value of that. He knows his mark is Double Lift. When you're looking at this enemy team, that's who you've got to take down. That's who all that success in the very early game was for Team Liquid 7 minutes into the game when it was 4-0. It's all coming up Double Lift. Take him out of the picture. All of a sudden, that doesn't matter anymore. Mid lane tier 1 turret will go down on the side of TSM.
But Bjergsen's pushing on the top side, right? This is the answer here for TSM. No one feels they can answer him 1v1, so TL's like, all right, push away from Bjergsen. We don't want these little skirmishes. We want to just be ready in a 5v5 formation. We want to be protecting Double Lift, so they do knock down a turret, but it's a pretty significant gold lead here for TSM. And this is coming from such a disadvantage in the early stages. We have to remember, though, how big shutdown gold is, and if they could get that shutdown onto Bjergsen, it could be pretty huge.
He goes for the pull onto Ole, who is going to use that chance to go in for the headbutt pulverize. Po Belter not going to knock anyone up with the hero's entrance. Bjergsen makes his way over into the fight now as well. Ole down to about 1/4 HP. Bjergsen keeping himself safe, looking to go in for the assassination. There he goes. Smithy's grabbing the kill onto Ole. Smithy going into the Lamb's fight. Team Liquid health bars are evaporating as ale. Double Lift looking to find the kill onto that assassin. Can he do it? The shutdown for Double Lift, but it does not matter. It's still 3 for 1.
TSM gets so much there. Beautiful play from them once again, absorbing that engage from Ole. They're going to knock down 2 turrets. They're going to get 3 kills. But Double Lift is going to be insanely fed. That was about a 900 gold shutdown onto him, and he is really the last hope for this team.
Double Lift versus the world, and the world is crashing down on mid lane. The inhibitor turret gone. The inhibitor itself will now follow.
1,000 gold the lead.
What a performance from TSM, man. This has been a split where mid lane carry has sort of fallen to the wayside with the meta shifts and everything drastically going crazy. But this game, you wouldn't believe it looking at Bjergsen. You wouldn't believe it looking at the plays he's making in these fights.
We have come full circle. It's back to Jensen and Bjergsen carrying from the mid lane here in the LCS. Here it is one more time. Look at the engage initially. Flash combo onto Sven, but Sven gets out before the hero's entrance lands. The equalizer not very effective, and Ole is just getting pulled in nonstop with the Swain passive. Then he's able to get him again with the hook from Mithy. Bjergsen goes straight in. It's a good ultimate from Smithy. Double Lift trying to kite it out. Bjergsen goes in, actually cleans up one, almost kills Double Lift as well. And then this ultimate right here was big. Buster shot, knocking him backwards, getting that 900 gold shutdown was critical. He is now on a Maw. He built a full Maw third because of the amount of pressure that Bjergsen is putting out onto him because of the amount of magic damage that there is. So he is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Will have opportunities to win, but they're certainly very far behind, and they want to slow down the pace of the game. They want to establish their battle lines. They want to have the lockets coming through and all these things to really keep Doublelift alive, and then his damage can shine in the fight.
This game is all about Doublelift now. We've talked so much about Bjergsen, but at the end of the day, Bjergsen's mission is kill that AD carry. If he succeeds in doing it, what does Liquid even do? The fight's over. You're already routed.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much.
But if he fails, should he be taken down before we can find that mark, then Liquid can use what you were talking about. They can use the fact that we're scaling in this game, that Liquid has 2 AD carries versus 0, and potentially win a team fight from there. But this team has got to stabilize to go from such a promising start to what we've seen now. And it's not off the fact that TSM made a call that Liquid wasn't expecting. It's off the fact that Liquid made a really bad call bottom and TSM punished.
Yeah, and Bjergsen has just been playing out of his mind, so much credit needs to go to him. He's almost 5,000 gold ahead individually over Popelter. That is an astronomical lead in the 1v1. Up 2.5 levels basically here, up 5,000 gold. So really all of the advantage for TSM is on him. If he goes down, they don't have a gold lead. If he's not there, they don't have a big gold lead. So they have to be careful about that.
Doublelift will get the ultimate out of Sven as he finds him passing through the jungle. That's a pretty big tool to not have available for the next fight. But at the same time, you still got Bjergsen. Doesn't matter what else you have as long as you got him, as TSM will now go over towards Mountain Drake number 2, collect that one for themselves. We're all tied up, 2 Elemental Drakes to 2 Elemental Drakes now. Team Liquid continues to buy time.
And we've got 007 Gangplank up there, farming it up, scaling into the late game. He's kind of been very quiet in this game. It hasn't been about that top lane, and while he was kind of getting bullied and pressured by Impact in the early stages, he's now up 2 levels. He's now up 30 CS. He is on 3 items and going to be a huge threat. So, you know, Bjergsen is kind of buying time, creating this space for Haunter to farm up where he can really have a huge impact as well. And you have to think about the additional pressure he offers to the backline. It's not just Bjergsen diving in with the ultimate. All of a sudden, there's, you know, a level 3 GP ultimate dropped on Doublelift's head as well. There's the barrel chain potential coming through as well. There's all these things that you have to deal with. It becomes very difficult.
And thinking back to pivotal moments in this game, Haunter contributed to multiple fights, including that big fight bottom lane where TSM got their 3 for 0 after starting 0 and 4. Haunter was firing the cannon barrage every single time. He was contributing where Impact's contribution to the early fights in the early game and the first part of mid-game was 2 canceled teleports.
Yeah, he really didn't commit to that, and he wasn't able to actually, you know, really cash in and get a big advantage on the top side. And now he's just getting straight up outscaled. This is welcome to Stormrazor Gangplank, where every parlay is a guaranteed crit. He walks up, gets the crit off the parlay, gets the grass proc, and it becomes so hard to even stay in lane versus that as Impact, because the scrap shield will not come close to absorbing all that damage.
And with TSM having so much control over the entirety of the map, with them having 6,500 gold as a lead, and with Impact just using his ultimate to clear waves bottom, Baron is spawning Azale. TSM's got total control over this. You can see Team Liquid placing some wards down in their own jungle on the backside of the pit just so they don't get set into a trap by TSM on the way over, but they're still going to have to contest.
I mean, take a gander here at the mid lane items, Flowers.
All right,
break this down for me.
Okay, all right, let's math it up. We got a Gunblade, Morellonomicon, Zhonya's, Void Staff, completed shoes, versus Rod of Ages, completed shoes,
The pieces.
Garage Sale.
Yep, that's, I mean, this is 2.5 items ahead. Like, what is that? When's the last time you saw that? That's not supposed to happen.
No.
It's just absurd how far Bjergsen is ahead. 5,300 gold or so ahead of his opponent. That is just ridiculous. Bjergsen has the potential to just one combo anyone on the team here from Team Liquid besides maybe an ulted Olay, but that's about it. So they have got to be so respectful, so scared. And it's hard now because Bjergsen is such a point of power for TSM. The Baron is up. There's a Mountain Dragon on their team. They can kill that quickly. So TL has to really be so careful that they don't face check in and just get destroyed, while also somehow keeping vision on the Baron. And how do you do both?
Very carefully is about the only answer I can give you there. It's half meme, but it's still half serious. as Team Liquid has to find some kind of answer here, with Double Lift being the catalyst for these fights.
So TL's answer is bring over Impact, try to go for the 5v4, but then you're just giving up that bottom turret, right? TSM now just has to back up. All right, buy time for Haunter. Then Impact shows. Now Haunter can collapse, and TL now has to back off.
Team Liquid just being ran ragged as Ole expends the ultimate. All of a sudden, your front line evaporates. You don't have anybody that can survive Bjergsen anymore.
And it's hard to blame him, because when Bjergsen connects that shuriken flip on you, if you do not have the ultimate down for that burst, he can just absolutely explode you here. Has the Void Staff, has everything in the bag, and Haunter is over here. TSM is going to start this Baron. Impact is not in range. Double Lift is very far away.
Double Lift just went back to buy Infinity Edge. He needed that purchase for the next fight, but now it's Smithy. He's a little bit close to the pit.
This is so scary for Smithy.
Oh, over the wall goes Bjergsen. Lamb's Respite already used. Bjergsen getting a big ultimate out nice and early. Pobelter having to run himself away. Team Liquid jungler already down. Ole next in some trouble. Still no ultimate available for him. Double Lift in the back line, but he can't find anywhere to fire onto. Instead, eats a barrel, loses half his HP. TSM goes for Baron.
TSM's just going to get this. I don't think TL has much a chance of getting in close. No smite is available. They're going to TP in, though. They're going to try it. We'll see.
They're going to go for this. They realize given for TSM, the Baron is just not an option at this point in time. Impact with the equalizer, ready to fire into the pit, ready to make things happen. Ole decides to go in, looking to make the moves. Hero's interest comes down. There's your equalizer as well. Double Lift's got no opportunity to do anything, though. Impact finds the kill into Haunter. Grig's going to be taken very low. Double Lift goes over the wall, into the pit, right into the waiting arms of Bjergsen, who secures the Baron for his team and grabs Liquid's AD carry. With Double Lift out of the picture, it's time for TSM to clean him up. Impact's the last man left alive, but what are you going to do 1v4? You're going to get some more money over, and TSM will slam that fight.
Who else but Bjergsen securing the Baron? Double Lift went for the hero play. He jumps in. He knocked Grig out of the pit. That was brilliant from Double Lift, but Bjergsen gets the last hit on the Baron, cleans up the team fight, and this is just incredible stuff. TL, make the call. We can't give up the Baron or we will lose. In they go. Now watch Double Lift here over on the side. He's on Grig. He says, okay, Baron is getting low, jumps in, ults Grig out of the pit, and he's on to Baron. 300 health, the 5-point strike from Bjergsen gets the Baron. That was so close to potential steal and hero play from Double Lift, but Bjergsen gets it. He gets the kills, stays alive, and TSM could close this one out and secure playoffs.
Teleport being used by TSM. They want to bring Haunter in here. He doesn't decide to complete it. Sven running away from this one. Ole trying to front line yet again. Bjergsen going back over the wall. TSM now finding the opportunity to put some damage into the Team Liquid support, who does hold on to the ultimate, recognizing he needs it for the fight. You can't just expend that. He knows what happened last time. Double Lift, the last hope here for Team Liquid, who now find themselves down 11,000 gold, staring down the barrel of a loss to TSM here. No, it doesn't mean much for them in the standings, but for TSM, this is your ticket to playoffs. This is your right to claim, and they are doing everything in their power to claim it now. That mid lane inhibitor will fall.
They're just looking to make a statement here. TSM wants to show that they are not a pushover. They are a team to be reckoned with, that they can compete with the best, get into that playoffs. And despite some incredible performances so far from Double Lift, it has been the Bjergsen show. It is about TSM and how well they have played. But we want to see them now. Do not hesitate. Close out this game. Play proactively. If you allow TL to hang around for another 5-10 minutes, get Double Lift on 6 items, one team fight goes bad, you can still lose the game. They need to have that killer instinct to really get in there and close this one out.
And that's been one of the biggest criticisms levied against this team for the entirety of the split, even the season, is TSM just doesn't know how to close, but here we go! Ole decides it's time to go for the fight. There comes Hero's entrance. They're able to go through multiple health bars. Haunter's out of the picture, but Bjergsen's into the back line. It's Double Lift taken low. He knocks Bjergsen away, but he's still sent to the grave. The Lamb's Respite will not be there in time. Team Liquid is done, and TSM are going to playoffs.
What a performance from Bjergsen. 14-1-5. an incredible mid lane carry.
You think TSM, you think Bjergsen, and now his visage is burned into the mind of Team Liquid and every fan out there as they take him down and earn that playoff spot.
Double Lift called them boosted. Bjergsen said he would let the gameplay do the talking. 14, 1 and 5. That is the game of the split here for Bjergsen. That is the biggest carry performance we have seen all summer long from any player, I would say. From securing the Baron, getting kill after kill after kill, he took the game into his hands and absolutely dominated.
That man was an absolute monster in this game. Like I said, from level 1, you could tell he had practiced Akali, he had played Akali, he knew how he was supposed to go about playing both the lane matchup and the team fights, waiting for ultimates to wear off, waiting to jump in, timing the shrouds well, moving around in a way that made it so he wasn't in an excessive amount of danger. And the one time he does die, his opponent flashes away, ults him out, and he's diving between two turrets.
And this game really did feel like a duel between Bjergsen and Doublelift. Doublelift and Olay slamming the bottom lane. Doublelift, the one who all the pressure was on to carry this game as everyone else was behind. Trying to make the heroic play at the Baron, knocking out the jungler, but it's Bjergsen who secures it. And these two players felt like they were really going back and forth, and it has to be a vindicating feeling here for TSM, who has faced so much criticism. They do make it to the playoffs, but they still have lots of work to do.
They've got a lot of work to do, but if you need a starting point, if you need a foundation, Bjergsen just showed he is that foundation for this team. This man who has done
Reginald's like, thank you, Bjergsen.
Like, I knew we could count on you. At the end of the day, in their darkest hour, TSM knows who's the hero coming to save the day. Let's take a look. I believe we have the last fight ready to go to take a look at that replay and see exactly how it all went down again from TSM to end this game, find their win against Liquid, and earn that playoff spot that they were fighting so hard for.
Yeah, and this really was such a big fight here for TSM, as I believe we are going to be able to roll it. You can see that they decide to make the call to go in. TL tries to engage. Olay is kind of getting pulled around here, and Bjergsen is really coming up from the top side of the screen. Olay getting burst down. He says, all right, we got to go in. The engage is pretty good here. Hero's entrance hits multiple people. The equalizer was good. It looked like TL could maybe win this fight, and then in goes Bjergsen. Pops the GA immediately, then onto Doublelift, gets knocked back, but straight back in. Kills off Doublelift, while I believe Smithy was still actually rezzing from the GA, so he couldn't get down the limbs or spike, and just absolutely from there, crushes through the fight. I think you can see how pumped up he is.
Lightning in his veins and blood in his eyes. He knew what had to be done in that fight, and he made it happen perfectly. But now, for more on that victory, let's hear from Avali and the man himself.
Thanks, guys. Bjergsen, yesterday, Doublelift said you were boosted, and today you responded with arguably your game of the split. So how does it feel to take Team Liquid down and secure your spot in playoffs?
Oh, it feels great. I did say I wanted to shut him up, and hopefully I did. No one should get away with calling TSM boosted, just like that. And yeah, hopefully we can continue to show up performances like this in the potential tiebreakers, maybe, and at least playoffs.
And I mean, you completely shut him down with your Akali, stealing Baron, picking up double and triple kills everywhere. Tell me about your performance on.
Akali is just a really fun and really overpowered champion, and which is great because that means I want to play her every time she's open in solo queue, and she has a high skill cap. Kind of reminds me of playing champions I love like LeBlanc and Zed. So I'm happy that TL didn't ban it, and I got to play it for the first time.
And tomorrow, you guys are going to enter all of these messy tiebreakers. So how are you guys going to prepare, and what's your mentality kind of coming into them?
Well, I haven't really thought about them yet because if we lost this game, it would have been a do or die tiebreaker. So at least we're not playing one of those because historically, TSM doesn't do very well in those. Yeah, I think we're just going to come in kind of with nothing to lose because that's really how it is. I don't think the playoff seeding is really going to determine how well you do in playoffs, but we want to have a strong showing before going into playoffs.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to your teammates or maybe your fans that have been cheering you on?
Oh, man. Thank you to my teammates for trusting me to first pick Akali and giving over whatever champions TL wanted. I appreciate that. And thank you to all the fans. Hearing the TSM chant before the game was awesome for my teammates. I think I I don't know if Greg has ever had a chant like that, so I think it was a special moment from him. So thank you guys.
Congratulations again on your win. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. It almost wouldn't be right without TSM in the playoffs. And in their final game of the 18-game regular split, they secure their spot into the playoffs. Tiebreakers tomorrow to determine seeding for places 3 through 6.
Yeah.
But what a fashion to do it in, where Bjergsen hard carries on Akali, again, after a disastrous early game for TSM here.
And I think the way that they did it was really interesting because they left up a lot of soul, or they took their soul laners early and matched them with champions across the board. And then it made it a really weird situation where usually when you're matched in the first phase, people kind of do these late, like limp bans where they don't want to ban themselves out, but both bot lanes actually really targeted each other pretty hard, and it resulted in the mage bot lane needing to be picked on the side of TSM.
Yeah, and TSM was ready for it, in my opinion. They had the GP. Looking at solo queues, Sven had played more mage games than a lot of the 80 carries. He had 80 games on Vladimir, 62 games on Swain. That's just on his main account. Don't know what other accounts he has. And it's kind of funny that the output was actually just Doublelift getting super fed and then the Akali taking over the game.
The thing was, they were hovering the Ashe, which is what I think their comp really wants to lock people in place for that Rumble ult to pick off a priority target.
Yeah.
But you can't possibly play Ashe into TSM's comp. It's 3 mid-line divers, and if you have an immobile AD carry, you're just going to get obliterated.
Right, if it looked hard to play Tristana into that Akali and that
God.
Swain, just imagine if you were playing Ashe and have that kind
so
of escape.
it ended up making it really hard to play TL's comp, even though it was the right decision to not pick an immobile carry there. It also shut down what they were trying to do. So this was, I think, a time where TSM's draft was just really, really smart.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like that many support, that many 80 carry bans, knowing you have the mage in your pocket. Also, like the first pick could have been different, right? That's basically what's left up. It's either Zoe or Akali, but what a performance.
But what's so intriguing then, right, is you look at a draft like that, we come away from it going, wow, TSM, what ingenious, what an awesome draft that they just pulled. And that could all go out the window so quickly when things start to go wrong in the game itself. And that's exactly what happened. It looked like Team Liquid was going to run away with it off of these couple early plays.
And Pyke and Swain is more of a kill lane, maybe turning on around 3, but if you blow your cooldowns level 2 around that Scuttle Crab, TL's bot lane is good enough to punish you for it, and that gave them the lead, and then they continue to do it, abusing the Hex Flash to get that right as he goes for the ward, and this looks like kind of the death of TSM potentially a little bit, because it's really, really hard to recover from that.
Yeah, Bjergsen just kept getting kill after kill. You're pulling in an Alistair for a big initiation. Like, it's looking very rough. 4 kills to 0 for Team Liquid.
2-0-2 Trist.
A 2-0-2 Trist, looking like they're going to get that bottom turret down. But then,
And then the
plot twist.
But then, this happens. Let's watch TSM bring it back here. It all starts off of a
The
play
Rumble
initiated by Team
TP
Liquid.
was canceled.
Yeah, so they cancel this, meaning it will be a 4-for-4 with the GPL contributing. So this is actually a man advantage in a lot of ways in TL's favor. After Smithy took a horrendous path and had to drop his Kindred ult early, the fact that they didn't bring the extra man down to secure their escape means that they're actually going to lose a ton of kills in this situation, which allows Doublelift to get complete control of the mid wave because he's the one who picks up 2 of those kills. So now he can start roaming down and forcing action, and the lead that Doublelift had is largely negated.
And now, yes, Bjergsen pops off, getting double kills in basically every fight, but also, in this composition, the Kindred and the Trist have to stick together because Akali can one-shot either of them, and either he goes for Kindred and blows the ult, or he goes for the Tristana and actually gets it. And they really weren't grouped up until Bjergsen was at 10 kills.
And this is where you want the Ashe Arrow. On top of Sven, on top of an Equalizer, that's a priority target, probably dead. They don't have it. And then once again here, there's never the cooldowns for the people who need them at the right time. So Smithy's going to have to drop his ult here to keep himself alive so Bjergsen doesn't insta-give him, but then he's just in the Shroud during the Kindred ult, so you can't trade damage back, which is usually what the Kindred ult allows you to do. Akali
second ult there.
basically counters it, and yes, could have played that a little bit better, but at this point he's a 5-1, 7-1 Akali.
And then I gotta
this was
also
dirty.
hand it to Bjergsen for a lot of this game. This Baron contest was actually really good. Watch what Doublelift does here. He knocks Grig out of the pit before he's able to smite it, and also nearly kills him. But then it's just the duel. Who can get Baron? Is it the Akali or the Trist? Bjergsen gets it, and then Bjergsen just plays the end of this fight.
Oh, so
Exquisitely.
super good decision
Look
to
at
get
his timing.
to get the Merc Treads. He bought Merc Treads to make sure that Taunt Punch combo could never come through, because that would probably be what locked him down and gets him killed in team fights. So really smart itemization by him. absolutely popped off, punishing what was good draft that TSM could exploit, and then the fact that you never saw a Galio or Kindred ult on top of the Tristana, who was the Fed member of the team.
After a couple early blunders for TSM, they show an incredible amount of composure in bringing it back the way they did, and of course, you'd expect nothing less from a player like Bjergsen, that in that pressure moment when everything's on the line, he is the kind of guy to step up and carry the team.
That was a vintage Bjergsen game. It's the most kills an individual has had in a game this entire split. With 14, Someday was at 12, that was the previous high. In a moment where it's win and you are in the playoffs, or lose and you're literally playing a do or die tomorrow against, we keep talking about how hot Cloud9 was, right?
Right.
Because they won 8 of the 9 games in the second half. Team Liquid had won 7 of the 8 games in the second half up until this one. They were equally as hot as Cloud9, with their only loss being to Cloud9. So this was a gargantuan task for TSM to win this game, but they stepped up and did it.
Yeah, they went 4-0 in the last 2 weeks to get to this position, beating 100 Thieves and TL, when at the time 100 Thieves was the second place team.
Yeah.
All right, well, with our 5 games concluded for the day, let's take a look at the standings, because we do now have officially our top 6 teams, although we're still waiting for the order on those 3 through 6 positions. But Team Liquid locking first, Cloud9 locking second, and then tomorrow we will have 4 games between 100 Thieves, Equifox, FlyQuest, and TSM to determine who goes where and who plays who in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I drew a rough bracket. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's
Put anything in it.
I
Oh my
can't
God,
put it
a
in.
blank
We're still
bracket.
drawing the
Mark,
matchup.
you should know all of the matchups, but basically it's 2 teams matched up against each other. Winners play winners, that's 3rd seed.
Yep.
Losers play losers. The team that goes 0-2 is 6th seed. Actually, we had exactly the same tiebreaker at the end of Spring Split between 3rd and 6th. We also just had a first place tie then. So we had one
Just
more.
now we get 24 hours to refresh before tomorrow. It's going to be a really interesting day tomorrow as these teams, everyone's shuffling near the end. The pressure continues to mount, and, different teams are on upswings while others are on downswings. I'm excited.
It's a crazy ending. I mean, TSM going 4-0 down the stretch, Cloud9 going 8-0 down the stretch.
I think it's also important to note that line 243.
Yeah,
right?
I said
we
it.
had the 256, and line 243 was what we ended up on. So if any of you got that at home, congratulations. Neither of you two. You were close, Jat. You are at least still alive here on the second day, whereas Mark was eliminated yesterday from
that counts.
That race.
I have the better prediction record on this.
What are you
I have the better prediction record on the split. I don't care.
It's tiebreakers tomorrow.
What's crazy to me-
Tiebreaker games tomorrow can all change.
TSM can finish 3rd, and they do look like
Wouldn't that be insane? if you
they
have
look
Team
like the
Liquid
hottest
C9
team coming in, and they won in the one that happened last split, where they finished the tiebreakers the highest. And if that happens, you have TL, C9, TSM, your top 3 teams for summer.
All right, that's enough out of us. It's time to hand it over to Freak, Zyrene, and FlyQuest bot lane for any LCS tonight.
Thank you very much, Dash. I am indeed Freak, and I have the FlyQuest bottom lane with me. Welcome, Wild Turtle and JJ. Zyrene on the far side, of course, here as well. All wonderful people. So what a weekend this was, by the way. We're up to tiebreakers tomorrow. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty bad about that loss, but I'm pretty hyped for tomorrow. I think we needed the extra games anyway.
Yeah, we came in saying, second place would be sweet. We got the bye. We had to go to Oakland directly, but also we're a new team, and, the more games we play that are high pressure, the better for us coming into playoffs, and then the gauntlet afterwards.
A bit of the silver lining there. I like that. Glass half full.
I think you guys have to win a quarterfinal to make regional qualifier. Otherwise, Clutch has more points than you. So very important to make that one happen. Of course, let's talk about everything that's gone on because, TL in first. I think that's kind of a bit expected. The fact that Cloud9's in second. What a freaking run, by the way, because they were terrible, and then finally they got something going.
Yep.
What were you guys expecting to be the final standings halfway through the split? You have more information, right? You're scrimming teams behind the scenes.
Honestly, when COG was 5-3, I thought they would actually be one of the best teams in the league at the time, and then they ended up 6. And,
they lost 8 in a row.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know my predictions anymore after that.
Yeah, I thought the same. CLG was looking pretty good at the start of the split. TSM was looking a little iffy, and Cloud9 was also kind of up and down a little bit, mostly down. But they definitely made the run, and today they read us pretty well, and they seem to be really prepared. So props to them. I mean, I can't say they're a bad team or we would have beat them had this not happened because they just played really well.
Yeah. Oh, overall, of course, you've got those guys sitting in the semifinals. I'm curious, of the quarterfinal opponents, of course, you're going to play them, or at least most of them, tomorrow in the tiebreaker. But is there any matchup you're kind of hoping is your first round of the quarterfinals to make that push towards Worlds?
Not really. I think we're kind of in the mindset that we need to beat like any of these teams if we're going to go far anyway, and we don't want to be like a scrub team who kind of gets like a lucky win and then loses like later. You
No
know?
base races.
Yeah.
I mean, Scrubs winning by base rate is kind of lame.
Scrub wins, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, these guys are no scrubs, of course. We don't want no scrubs. We're going to do Science Speedway in a little bit in the show, but only one of these two are going to be able to run the course. To decide who is going to run Science Speedway, we set up a round of Mundo Dodgeball. So if you two want to head over to the best friend testing stations, and we will get that one over. The winner gets to choose who runs the course. Go ahead, throw yourself some cleavers, and we'll get ourselves a victor very soon. So, of course, if you don't know Mundo Dodgeball, these two, of course, do. I believe you're stuck in Baron Pit. You've got a line of scrimmage to stand behind. You can throw cleavers. You cannot pass the line of scrimmage, but you kill each other with the cleavers. We'll get that on screen in a second, and then when you're ready, I'll count you guys in.
Are we allowed to use the summoners too?
I don't know what summoners you even have.
We have Ghost and Flash.
Then I'm pretty
Then
sure
yes, you can.
Yes,
you can't cross line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Wait.
Whoa, you're already cheating.
I didn't know who I was. I didn't know which kid I was.
Go on the blue health bar.
All right, let's start.
All right.
Wait.
Whoa.
Okay, let's not.
Okay, guess we started.
So how many of you guys played
We
this?
started, I guess.
How many of you guys played this?
Oh, no.
Okay, they're focused.
They're focused. I think Turtle's in blue because he walked over. JJ's actually getting smashed. Oh, I missed on the cleaver. You know, if you don't hit the cleaver, you lose health.
there's one.
So you want to hit those. Also, fans online can vote for who's going to win.
Such
So send us your comments in chat.
Oh, no.
Turtle with JJ. Oh, okay. I think Turtle's still winning, though. Oh, he hit another cleaver.
Uno más!
All right, well, chat, you were wrong. It was Turtle instead of nobody.
Damn. All right.
I was a minnow master.
All right, so Turtle, who's doing Speedway?
I am. I practice a perfect time. I hope I get it. I hope I don't mess up, you know?
All right. Well,
I
come on
never
back.
want to do it anyways. I tried the speed runs a few times. I was
Yeah.
not
You're coming back here, Turtle.
Yeah.
Not yet. You're running it later.
Yeah, you let him win. You let
I
him
don't know
win
where I
that
was
one,
going,
right?
sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right, is it the same PC?
Not right now. Come back.
Come here,
cool.
come here.
I told you, man.
He's wild.
Come
You
back
gotta
here.
put it
I
on
know
him.
you're excited.
I guess I'm wrong.
I know you're excited.
I
That's
really want to
okay.
play the Mundo Speedway.
No, I understand that. Don't worry, it's happening soon. Yeah, we're gonna get that set up for you guys. Don't worry about that. However, throughout the weekend, you all took to Twitter to praise the jaw-dropping moments that you called out on Twitter, and we decided to pull up some of our favorites brought to you by Acer Predator. So first up, Garrett Pressler took the time to call out Aframu's four-man pulverize to win a fight for 100 Thieves.
Quinn, no flash, right here. Going. You can go. Go. I'm gonna combo fist if I can. I'm done. Front line. You can keep by. Keep by.
And a trial knockout for Aframu. Is it going to be enough for Cody? So he's starting to clean up.
Yeah, this game was pretty rough for 100 Thieves. Like, even though... Yeah, that game was just rough.
I remember during that four-man Alistar combo, Flame was going, "Oh, Alistar Malphite ulti, Alistar Malphite ulti." And I was just laughing. It was a really good combo.
Yeah. That made it close. CNS still the better team, though. Now, of course, one more coming up next is an MVP tweet from the Wise One, who praised Dokla for his game-winning play over 100 Thieves.
Okay, we need to guys. Slow. Go slow. Jin. We gotta watch Jin no flash, guys. Jin no flash. Spam me. We're going Jin and get range. Go mid. Let's go.
It's pretty good.
I love seeing Dokla do well. We were friends since before we were in academy teams, so seeing him do well in LCS makes me really proud to see him how far he's come.
It's awesome.
Did you think he'd do this well?
I know he's been really good at Camille and Fiora and all those, and I always knew he was good at those, so I'll just leave it at that.
Though.
Well, it's kind of
and Yorick.
he's a bit of a surprise because he came in and people were like, oh, it's a known commodity. He can't really play with the team and split pushes a little bit. And now they felt like Optic was playing around him a little more. He looked like he had one of the best or biggest improvements of the entire split.
Yeah, I think the troubles that they had more last split and even earlier this split was they were trying to put him on tanks and stuff he's not really comfortable on, and instead of doing that, they started leaning into him and playing more around him, and I think that got them a lot of the success that they've had.
Yeah, sadly, of course, they end the split one game behind playoffs, so an 8th and a 7th place finish or 9th and a 7th for Optic. But we'll see them next year, of course, and maybe they'll make that run a bit better with their own sort of style. Now, last up from the last game of the day, Liz Church-Peters shouts out Bjergsen's play on the Rogue Assassin.
Keeping it. Galleon on tongue. Come on, Triss. I'm on Kindred. Triss. Kindred. Go Kindred. Oh, kill him. We can go Baron after this. We can go Baron. It's perfect. We can go Baron. Go Baron.
Not look
Beast.
balanced.
It's Smurfing.
It does not look
Reaction is
balanced.
smurfing there, yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting is Akali had a 0 win rate in NA leading into today, and then
Yeah.
Bjergsen obviously like.
I think that was like due to the fact that a lot of people like picked it up when it just like came out, and I feel like people weren't as good as it yet, like as polished. And I think Bjergsen got like a little bit more practice than other people on Akali.
Sure.
So he was able to play it better.
Do you think it's wrong that people like pick up a champion when they don't know it yet? Like it's probably OP, but it's like my 12th game.
Yeah, I mean, if it feels OP and then like you're kind of confident, I think it always works. But sometimes like people still mess it up. Sometimes.
Yeah, and I think she definitely still has like some hard matchups that you have to play through. So like when she first came out, we were seeing her a lot in scrims, and we're like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. We'll just pick the counter pick, and then it's like worthless.
Right.
So I think now that people know it a little bit better, they can pick it more, and like they can play around the counter picks a little bit better. So that's probably why it succeeded more.
Yeah, it's always fun when like somebody's playing a champion that's new. You pick something into it. You're like, oh, this is a counter pick. So you like smash a bit. Then you meet somebody who's actually good at that champion. You're like, wait, this counter doesn't work at all. You kind of like find the new thing and then get better at that.
And I actually think that's what happened in the Liquid game, because like prior to that, I think Walter played like Galio into, I think it was Febivus.
I think it was
PoE or Febivus.
PoE's like Akali, and then like he destroyed that Akali. So, and then like this game, Bjergsen ended up doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Merc tried to get out of the taunt and like able to leave the combos.
And also like 13 kills will help.
It helps a little bit. To be fair, I think that's Bjergsen playing well. Some of that Akali is strong, but you know, kind of column A, column B, sort of both involved. Either way, thank you all online for your callouts. Make sure to keep tweeting your favorite plays throughout the throughout the playoffs, rather, using hashtag NALCS. Now, up next is a new segment we're calling sort of your synergy into question here for these guys. As a bot lane duo, it's important that these people are in sync with each other's thoughts, predicting their every move, and now we're going to put them and their teamwork to the test. We've got some cards here with league-related terms in the underside, and you two are going to have 3 minutes together to figure out as many of these cards as you can. If you get through 20 of them correctly, we have a prize as well for this FlyQuest bot lane, and your guys are going to alternate guessing. So you're going to put this up on your head. So like this, you're allowed to see it. Turtle, you're not.
I'm not allowed to see it. Okay.
Yeah, well, these are ones. You just flip it up on your
What
forehead.
are the rules? Obviously, we can't say what's on it.
Yeah, so we have more lines to describe that. Of course, getting your teammate to guess the word on the card, but don't say any part of the word or phrase.
Okay.
Cool. Does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Minute 30 for Turtle, minute 30 for JJ afterwards, trying to get 20.
All right. So, minute 30, you ready to go?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, team that Chovy's on.
Genji?
No.
Oh, wait. Griffin.
Yeah.
Ship showing.
When you go to playoffs, you play this amount of you play more games. What's that called? Like within a series.
The best of 5?
Yeah. Opposite of blue buff.
Red buff?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Okay. Yes sir.
My collegiate team. What school was it?
UFT?
Yeah. Champion that Saint says you shouldn't build AP on, but you do anyway.
Kaiser.
Yeah. We're playing potentially like 2 of those tomorrow.
Best of 5?
No.
Tiebreakers?
Yeah. No, that's not. The show before LCS.
Analyst does?
You can just pass.
Pass. Item that's really important against like Fizz, and you build it on Kai'Sa. Yeah. Old item gives gold. Turtle. Oh, yeah,
Heart of
turtle
gold?
back. Yeah. Champion that was OP with Morgana last split.
Caitlyn?
Caitlyn.
I can't see him either. I'm just helping.
You're not playing, freak.
Big purple worm gives you what?
Baron buff.
Yeah. Double if said TSM was
Bad?
yesterday. He used a specific word.
Trash?
No. Okay.
I didn't know.
Boosted.
Boosted.
Okay. Does that not count?
I don't know.
I think we're out of time.
we'll
I think
take
we're
it
out
We're
of
out of
time.
time. Music stopped.
Oh, you guys got through a lot of them.
All right.
Yeah, we did.
They're counting
Okay.
online.
Juan was
You got 8.
I don't think I'm gonna be as good as Juan. Juan was like really good.
No, it's okay. This is all you.
It's going to be
Yeah.
an
So you
official
need,
count
I think,
then.
12.
I kind of suck
12
at
of 13
guessing.
to
Oh,
get
no.
this one.
Oh no.
All right. All ready?
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Go.
New news. Other guy.
Willem?
Yeah.
Yep.
Howling Abyss.
Aram?
Yeah.
Yep.
Freaks. He always says this word. He loves this item.
Triforce?
Yeah.
Yeah. Crab Hunter.
Crap.
It's in the river. You kill it. It's jungle camp. The jungle camp in the river.
Next.
And next.
And he doesn't make it out of.
Yeah, and he doesn't make it out of
Groups?
Yep.
Yeah.
At Worlds?
This team didn't go Faker.
SKT?
Yep.
Okay. That was easy.
Back in season 4, nobody, when bot turret HP wasn't low,
Lane swap?
Yeah.
Nice.
The most OP mid laner in the game.
Zoe?
Yeah. The opposite of creeps.
Walking bag of gold.
Jungle?
No.
A walking bag of gold.
A walking back.
You kill these in lane.
Yeah, you kill
Cannons?
them in lane. No. You kill
Champions?
No. Like
Turrets?
There's 6 of them every 30
Opposite-
seconds.
Creeps.
There's 6 of them every 30 seconds in your
Yeah,
lane.
6 of them every
Is
30.
another word for creeps?
Yeah.
Another word for creeps.
Minions?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, Demonte keeps getting this on Zoe.
Oh, Redemption. I know that one. You got to way too many
Best
of
of
those.
5 song.
Best of 5 songs. Silver Scrapes.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. The new
Best
game
game
mode.
mode.
The new game mode.
Nexus splits.
Yeah.
You throw these on ARAM.
Yeah.
Snowballs.
No.
Sorry.
All right.
You're wrong, freak.
I was wrong.
I think I was still. That was pretty good
That was
too.
not bad. Yeah, that was not bad.
All right.
Got stuck on a couple.
What is
but-
the
okay.
official tally judges? We'll find out in a second.
19 XD,
What?
you lose.
Oh my god.
I gotta ask as well to them. Is it because he said gold when they were giving Heart of Gold as an answer? It is because he said gold during Heart of Gold.
Wait.
Yeah, you had a couple of those. They're like 4 minutes from saying like gold
it
during
gives
Heart
you
of Gold.
It gives you gold.
And like red
It's a
buff
word in
instead
Heart
of
of
blue
Gold.
buff.
Oh.
Getting the word in there disqualifies you.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I
The jungle camp gives you mana regen would be blue, right?
No prize for you guys.
Unlucky.
Damn.
I
What was
wonder
the
what it
prize?
was.
Yeah.
I don't even know
What was
actually.
the
Prize
prize?
was.
You know,
Yeah,
just
what
we
the
can
prize was?
taunt him with it.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh,
I
you're
don't
not
know.
kidding.
Oh my god.
We have boxes of those
you
in
guys-
our house.
You
We
want
have
to
so
share
many.
this, freak? I
You
think we
guys
can
could
share
have
this.
had
Oh
this.
my god.
I mean, it's right here on your shoulder.
Yeah,
you could have had
I definitely wanted
more.
more, yeah.
Ooh, well,
I mean, yeah.
I'm getting fatter.
Is that a
With-
big Snickers?
I don't know. We're gonna find out later, but
Anyway.
it's all mine now.
I got
Beautiful
you.
stuff. Now, with that, it's time for Science Speedway. Turtle, you might have lost here, but you're gonna win in
Okay.
Science Speedway.
I hope so.
I think you're very
It's a moment
confident.
of truth. No, I'm not that confident.
All right.
It's up in the air.
Here's the leaderboard. Now, he was saying he was doing like 43, 44 seconds in practice. His best time supposedly is a world best.
Yeah,
So,
it's a world best.
all right, you gonna be number 1?
I hope so, yeah.
No nerves?
No nerves.
All
We're
right,
in it.
get on up there.
Knock me out of the top 10.
The OP
Come on,
walking
dude.
strat.
Turtle,
Put
I
me on the
believe.
second
I'm
page,
going, I'm
Turtle.
going.
As long as we beat
in
the
you.
Europeans, it's all I care about. You got to get top 3. Not
These are my items too, nice.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right. So whenever you're ready, you unpause and go as soon as the unpause
Okay.
hits.
Were you watching his runs, JJ?
No, I was doing my own, but I sucked at it. So.
All right, guys. I have
Yeah.
to get in the mindset right now.
All right.
right.
Yeah, JJ was saying that even if he won dodgeball, he would pick Turtle
All right,
just to
let's
help the
Yeah.
win come through. All right.
I'm going.
Woo!
I'm going, guys. I forgot my strategy already, but we're doing it.
All right. So he's going the bottom way. Curve up top. That's a pretty good run so far.
Oh, might be a little rough.
Ooh.
Oh,
That
actually,
is
Pretty good
clean.
And he's not using any actives on the first turn. That's actually, I'm not seeing anyone do that as a strategy yet. He's going through a lot of this jungle blocking.
I think you can use it on the second turn.
Yeah, he's doing it
That's
for
why
the dummy section.
No,
He hit one of the dummies, but
go.
Righteous Glory and like one other active maybe. Predator's on. And he's running through
He's
top
doing
jungle.
the
Move
victory
speed.
lap.
he's doing stacked move speed to go through top jungle. He's at 41 seconds right now. Like, this is actually a pretty good time. And he flashes right there. I don't think cut a corner. And 45 in shade. Sub
that's
46.
pretty good.
I don't think it's as good as.
Oh,
I don't think he beat Grayson.
That's like 3rd or 4th place though.
Yeah, I think it's top 5.
What'd I get? What'd I get?
We're gonna find out pretty soon. They're gonna put the numbers together.
45, 46.
Yeah, I think it's like 45.7, something like that. I think it's around together.
Oh.
That-
I
that's
could
what
have
I'm
definitely
guessing.
played it better. I don't think I used my act as well, and then I didn't duck down on the dummies.
Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting because you get diminishing returns on like high move speed, right? So like you kind of want to segment your buffs into your
Yeah, I
hitting
think I should've
the
used
hard
them better,
caps, the
Yeah,
soft caps.
it was clean navigation though.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
Yeah.
if all you had to do was care about like active item usage, like that's a win in my
Yeah.
book there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Turtle 6th place, 46 and a half.
Not bad, I guess.
Dash
Wow,
is still
even Dash is up
faster.
there. Dude, that's props to Dash.
Actually, I want to comment on Caps. He's so perfect. He actually got 0-0.
Yeah, that's nice.
What?
Damn.
Oh
But
my God.
Only Grayson Gilmer's broken 45 seconds.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, but Grayson, to be completely fair, Like when Sion had Banner of Command be built like on him in mid lane, he was one of the first people to do it in my academy.
He's a Sion main.
He was telling me he spent hours in the practice tool practicing drifts because he's like, no other mid laner actually knows how to use Sion ulti. He's like very proud of the fact that he knows how to move that thing around and actually knows some of like the bump offs and the drifts in the rift.
Actually, last split when we had Fly on our team, he was really good at Sion, and we would call him the best driver in the house because he was the best at Sion drift.
That's awesome. But we'll see if Golden Glue can keep his title in Science Speedo as well as Academy Worlds, which is coming up next week some more. CNN Academy makes their debut. I think your squad's still in it too, right?
Yeah, I'm cheering for them. They're playing C9, but I have faith in them that they can do it.
All right, I believe in your ability. So, yeah, talk to me about sort of, again, looking forward, because you're keeping track of actually Academy Awards a little bit, which is, by the way, for those who don't know, only NA has an official Academy League, so it's technically Academy World Championship.
Yeah, it still has worlds in it, so I'm still a little bit hesitant.
We got it at groups,
win
though.
it or not.
We got 6 teams out of groups at Academy Worlds, though. That is unprecedented.
Yeah, still worried.
But yeah, I mean, how's Fly Academy doing? Like, do you work with them? Is that a close relationship?
I mean, I still talk to Area No because they were my teammates on the Academy team as well as on U of T before that. So I try to keep up with them as much as I can, but also like we're trying to prepare for playoffs as much as we can. So it's not like I can just chill with them all the time. Yeah.
Not a lot of internal scrims?
Not so much recently. At the start of the split, we used to play a lot, but not recently.
That's fair enough. I think like the level of play is just high enough in the LCS that you'd rather play other LCS teams for practice. It's a bit better.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? It's the tier above.
But actually, Meteos has been helping us out like a decent amount whenever they don't have scrims, or if he like has time off, he'll be there like and just watch scrims with Saint and point things out that Saint wouldn't notice sometimes. So that's cool. He's been a really big help, actually.
Yeah, how crazy has Saint been? Because I hear like FlyQuest talk a lot about him in terms of like what he's done to change the team atmosphere and like how helpful he's been. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he's done a lot for us as a team. Like he's more of like a facilitator on our team and like helps like our conversations and like what we want to like do as a team. And he just pretty much gets us all on the same page. And then his drafts has been like pretty great too.
So is that he's a facilitator? Is that the nice way of saying he doesn't know anything?
No.
No.
He knows a lot.
What?
So I think like the other thing is like most coaches, or I don't know really, but like I think most coaches kind of like have like a way they think, and then they just try to like force it on their players to like play that certain way. But Saint really gets us like thinking about like what we think is the best way to play it, and then he would, if it's like incorrect, he just asks us more questions.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and then once we have like a style that we want to play, he'll like figure out the best way for us to play it and tell us what we're doing wrong so that we can play that style like to the best of our ability.
Yeah, it's clearly working. You guys went from 8th place last split to somewhere between 3 and 6 this time around. I mean, you guys were a game away from a playoff bye. Like, that's a lot of growth, right? And some of that's, you know, players coming in and being really excellent, and some of that I feel like is Saint. So that's cool. That's been that growth so far. Of course, tiebreakers are being moved to tomorrow. That is no surprise. Let's check out the schedule presented by Jersey Mike's. Echo Fox versus TSM, the first game of the day. 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest, the second. And then whether you win or lose, you're playing next or right after that. How you feeling about your matchups?
I just think we have to win.
You gonna win them both?
Yeah.
I don't mind if we take 6th or 3rd pretty much, because I feel like we have to beat any team anyway. So I think we can just like view these games as like a way of practicing more on stage.
Right, there's a really good chance you'll play against one of those teams afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think is the outcome of Echo Fox versus TSM?
It's up in the air for me. I don't know which team is better, to be honest. Like TSM had a great showing against Team Liquid, but Echo Fox is always a team that's like kind of like a wild card. They're like really aggressive and good.
Yeah, I think TSM has been looking a little better. And like also because Echo Fox is a wild card, I think I'd give it a little bit more to TSM. But then again, like the TSM games that they're playing, I didn't get to watch the entirety of the second one, but I don't think they've been playing like super clean. It's always kind of scrappy and like
For Fox?
No, for TSM.
For both.
Oh, TSM, okay, sure.
But yeah, for TSM, this game, and then like they have really slow games sometimes, which Echo Fox doesn't tend to have as much.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be an interesting matchup.
Feels to me like TSM's trending better. Like they got wins
they're
over
trending
both,
up and Echo
like,
Fox trending down.
Exactly. Like I thought like the Echo Fox lineup, like they come in, they bring in their new bot lane, and it's like, all right, dude, with Lost and Smoothie, like they got threats everywhere. Like DeMonte was looking good. Like this team could be the best in NA, and like they almost missed playoffs like by the end of this week, right? And they're only one game ahead of that one, so that was like kind of a scare where it feels like they're still kind of falling, and I'm not sure anymore.
I mean, you kind of got to think about like DeMonte and Lost as well. They're kind of like rookies. They don't really have as much experience as the other players on that team.
Sure.
So I think that's like a big factor as well.
What about Grig? Because they also brought Weldon back onto the team to work with TSM, and that's when they started to see that noticeable uptick. Well, so you've worked with Weldon before, correct?
I worked with him like really briefly. I think I was like there for one of his presentations, but I don't think I ever worked with him
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if you had any experience with that, but like, what do you think of Grig and how he's been performing on TSM? Because it's been a little different in the last few weeks than it has the rest of the split.
I think he's just more comfortable on the team now. Like he's able to like understand the flow of the game a lot better with his teammates, and I think that's like the biggest difference as a jungler. Like if you're like on the same wavelength as the rest of your team, you normally play a lot better.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Grigney, like at the start of the split, he wasn't looking nearly as good as he is now. I think he has much better understanding overall right now. So, and as a result, like TSM altogether are looking more like what we expected them to look like at the start of the split.
Yeah, and just TSM just makes the crazy run. Of course, we know they'll be in at least the regional qualifier. They for sure tiebreak over Clutch Gaming because they have a better spot. So even if they do lose first round, they get another chance later on. You guys, again, need to make sure you win at least one match to make that run towards Worlds. And of course, best of luck to you. Tiebreakers start at 3 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, considering the time is about 5 o'clock. In 22 hours, tiebreakers begin, so be there for that. Now, for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, and for these wonderful gentlemen on FlyQuest, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for Tiebreaker Monday.
This match means a lot. 100 Thieves could look at a first-round bye going into playoffs. And Optic, they could just be in playoffs off a win here and then a loss from Echo Fox for TSM.
Power of Evil down to about 100 HP as they watch on. Zabutin saying they feel good coming in. They might feel bad coming out of a first-level fight in First Blood onto Power of Evil. Cleanse comes in, he can't stay in the portal. Did he just get in? Oh, he ate it before he hit the portal.
We're going Jin and get range. I got
Optic are still alive in the running.
Good double hit on the command shockwave, and that's where Khan going down. Now they're going to take down Darshan for his teleport. That keeps him in range with Bane of Corruption. The follow-up from Matt is unstoppable.
No flash available on the Echo Fox top laner, who's already going to be dropped. Dardoch having to walk himself away now, taken very low, taken very down.
No flash. Kill master. Stun him after. Go. Good job. I'm not coming. Nice boy. Good job.
Echo Fox are going to playoffs. Sneaky will find the kill onto the FlyQuest support. Going to be kept alive for now. Santorin looking to find the damage. Does take him down. Now going to be underneath the turret. Flame looking to find the slicing maelstrom onto 3. Instead gets popped.
Let's go, boys. Look at. Get in there. Watch cannon. We're fine.
I'm tanking. Okay. End the game.
That's a playoff bye. Let's get in there, Blabber.
That's a playoff bye.
Ruin your KDA,
nice,
Blabber.
Boys.
Blabber, kill yourself. Go.
Wait, can you do it, Blabber?
Do it, please, Blabber, please. I need
Can you please go in the fountain?
No.
Oh, kill him. Everyone kill him.
Oh, my KDA.
Kill him. Die.
This is for the love and adoration of North American League of Legends fans everywhere out there. Can they find Sven again? I don't see any reason why not. They'll take him out, and they're going to send Mithy right down into the grave with him.
Pillar two. Astro. Nice.
Gangplank ulti's already going to be used. This Team Liquid finding their way onto the Drake to start things up, but Double Lift's already gone. Bjergsen's got his number, and he's going to find impact as well. Rick's going to be taken very low. Double Lift goes over the wall, into the pit, right into the waiting arms of Bjergsen, who secures the Baron for his team and grabs Liquid's AD carry. Team Liquid is done, and TSM are going to playoffs.
What a performance from Bjergsen.